The Cupcake Killer by Miles Prower 06. Chapter 2. The Fountain. Ponyville Central. 30 minutes later. Rainbow wasn't headed in any particular direction. She just walked where her hooves took her. It was getting a little frustrating, this feeling of guilt over what Pinkie did, and she didn't seem to be any closer to solving it. She wasn't sure that her mind would let this problem solve on its own if she just went for a stroll. Rainbow wasn't the most patient of ponies, and with how her patience was tested at times with other ponies, she doubted she could tolerate waiting on herself to get over the guilt. The conflict within wouldn't go away. She didn't want to remember Pinkie as the Cupcake Killer, but she couldn't just ignore what she had done and remember her as a friend. It was a bubbly feeling deep in her stomach, and it wasn't pleasant. Pinkie Pie had done terrible, unspeakable things to her in that basement, to a dozen other ponies as well. Rainbow Dash couldn't help but wonder which of groups of friends and families were now mourning a lost loved one, like she had found Lyra doing earlier that day. Rainbow Dash shuddered at the thought of the fate she had been spared. The harvesting, Pinkie had called it, right before Applejack came to her rescue. Rainbow Dash began to reflect on her memory of the nightmarish experience. It wasn't easy, but she needed to if she wanted to move on with her life. Pinkie Pie had done more than physically torture Rainbow Dash. She took away Rainbow Dash's identity and sense of self. Rainbow Dash was still trying to find her place in the world. For what was she without her wings? Flying had been her life. A small part of her wanted to hate Pinkie for what she had done and the pain she had caused. But she couldn't. She wouldn't. For her wings weren't the only thing Rainbow Dash held dear that had been cruelly taken from her that night. She lost a friend. And to Rainbow Dash, the element of loyalty, her friends were as much a part of her, what made her whole, as flying was. And Pinkie had meant just as much to her as Applejack before that fateful night. Rainbow Dash couldn't hate Pinkie any more than she could forget about her love of flying. She could only feel like she had failed Pinkie as a friend for letting such a terrible transformation take place within her soul. In Rainbow Dash's mind, Pinkie was as much of a victim as herself or any pony else. Rainbow Dash felt a responsibility as the lone survivor to do something for the victims, so they could be remembered, even Pinkie Pie. She came to the stone fountain near the center of town and stopped to look at her reflection in the ripples. She also saw bits scattered around the bottom of the fountain. Obviously, some ponies used it as a wishing fountain. She followed the ripples to their source, and they fell from the second-story bowl, and even smaller yet, third-story bowl. It reminded her of the liquid rainbow fountain back on her cloud home. Twilight, her ever-knowledgeable, well-read friend, was right, because right then, touching that fountain, something clicked, and a light bulb blinked over her head. That's it! That's what I can do! She quickly galloped towards Carousel Boutique and barged through the door, startling the design shop's proprietor, who was currently sewing a garment. Hey, Rarity, I just got a fantastic idea, and I wanted to bring it to you and get your opinion on it. I think you could appreciate it the most. Oh, do go on, Rainbow, Rarity replied, retrieving from the floor the thread and needle she just dropped. What if we made a memorial for the victims? Rarity developed a small smile. Well, I'd say it's a wonderful idea. Where are you thinking of making it? I was thinking the fountain. Dedicating the fountain to the victims. We could decorate it and carve a eulogy into the stone. Well, you're certainly down the right path, Rainbow. Have you talked to the mayor about it? No, not yet. I wanted to get my friends' opinions. Well, you have my approval. And Rarity, I was thinking of Pinkie, too. This brought the conversation to an abrupt but short pause. What about her? I'm wondering if we would include her in the memorial. Rarity sat on her back haunches next to Rainbow. Rainbow, I know what you're going to say, Rarity. Well, you're going to hear it anyway, darling. Your heart's in the right place. She was a friend, no doubt, but she hurt a lot of ponies, darling, yourself included. And even though Pinkie was my friend, too, I'm sorry, Rainbow, but you don't memorialize the killer along with their victims. Rainbow was silent for a moment after that, and Rarity didn't want to seem like she had discouraged the idea more than supported it. But other than that, I believe it's a splendid idea. Thanks, Rarity. Once we get support from the mayor, I was hoping you could help with the decor. Absolutely. All right, I'm headed over to Fluttershy's. All right, good luck, and think about what I said. It was a 5-minute walk through Ponyville to the edge of town closest to the Everfree Forest, where Fluttershy lived in her cottage. Rainbow came up the front walk, gave a gentle knock, and her Pegasus childhood friend answered moments later. Oh, hello, Rainbow Dash. How are you doing today? Just spending a while walking around town, trying to clear my head. Rainbow spent the next several minutes about the idea for the memorial and for the fountain, and Fluttershy was equally optimistic. This time, however, Rainbow omitted the idea about including Pinkie. I could plant some lovely floral arrangements around the fountain. Well, that's if the mayor allows it. I don't know why she wouldn't. The victims as well as the family members deserve a place to remember them by. There was another knock at the door, and Rarity came in. Rarity, long time no see, Rainbow joked, getting a small giggle out of the fashion pony. Rainbow, Fluttershy, could you follow me? There's some pony who'd like to talk with you. Oh, all right. Where are we going? Sugar Cube Corner.